Hello and welcome to Talk Fostering Uncut. It's the mother and daughter team.
Hello.
Today we've decided to discuss 10 things to consider if you want to become a foster carer. Now, it's in no order of priority. It's just a list that we thought you should think about or consider at least. Now, the first thing is the minimum age is 21. You must be over 21 if you want to even consider thinking about fostering. And the second point, which I'll zoom into, is you must have a spare room. They won't even consider you if there isn't a room that's of a reasonable size, decorated nicely or at least to a satisfactory way, and, is available for the child to move into straight away. So that's the 2 points I would consider straight away.
Okay, point number 3 we thought was at the top of the list was family, the immediate family that's in your household. Obviously airing it out with them, speaking to them, talking about how they feel, how they will be able to support, and possibly also to speak to family and friends. How can they support you? Where could you get support from them? You need to have a good support network around you for this to work. For it to work, really. Yeah. Basically, that's the long and the short.
Definitely. Good support. Yep, definitely. And then after that, the fourth point is the F1, which is the formal one. It's such a lengthy, intrusive process. I just wanted to put it out there, and at least you know now. So they ask everything about your life in detail. And I've seen on websites and stuff that, it can be done within 4 months or so. I really don't think so, because you've got to find the time, and you have supervisors, social workers, not supervisors, but social workers that will visit you. And also you've got training to do as well. So all of that, it does take time, and you have to be able to accommodate that. So F1 is something you need to really think about.
Another good thing to think about is you will need to be almost super organised once you become a foster carer. There's daily diary records to keep. You possibly have to log them on a computer. There are meetings. You might have to do observations, depending on how challenging or the needs of the child. You can have many more professionals that you will have to engage with. So you have to be on point with the information that you're providing to them, and the information to advocate for the child as well. So all of these things are included.
And then the next point is deciding if you want to go with local authority or agency. They're very much the same, but yet slightly different in the way that it works out. With a local authority, it's very much based on the borough. So depending on what borough you decide to go with, you will find that the children are all from that borough, and meetings, trainings, everything will be at that borough. However, if you go with an agency, you may find that the child could be in several different boroughs. So, it could be anywhere. Really, really important to decide which avenue you want to take, because they do work very differently in some ways, the agencies and the local authorities, but yet they do the same thing. We're here to look after children who need fostering.
Another little point I just wanted to add to that is that if you are going into fostering, try to consider local authority or agencies that are not too far from you, because you will need to be attending meetings, trainings at the location of wherever the local authority is or wherever your agency is. So, just be mindful of the travelling that you need to do whilst fostering. The next point that we wanted to raise was that a foster carer doesn't necessarily have to be a two-parent family. You can be single carer. There's a wide variety of categories for carers. So don't let anything stop you if you feel you want to go for fostering, you go for it.
Exactly. And the eighth point is that you can still work. I mean, my mum and I have different discussions on the working. I feel I'm an advocate for working. I still work. So I advocate working because you never ever know what could happen, and you don't want to be relying on the foster caring as your only source of income. So, because you can, at any point be waiting for a placement, or you may decide you actually are unable to foster for a little while. So you need to have other forms of income coming in. So I still advocate working, even though you may have to find that the job that you do needs to be a little bit flexible because you may have to go to meetings or work around it. But as I said, I still work and I've been able to accommodate it, and my workplace is very flexible with me. They allow me, to maybe work earlier or later. So do consider
Another
that.
good thing to consider if you do decide to stay in employment is to where we go back again to the good support network around you. It is possible to work, but just to ensure that you've got a good network around you. So if for some reason you couldn't make an appointment or something, somebody else could be available to step in for you.
Yes.
Next point is that fostering is considered as self-employed. So therefore, the allowance you receive for fostering will have to be taxed, and the sorting out the tax and the national insurance is through yourself, through accountants, or if you submit them yourself. So just be clear that you will be considered as self-employed and that you will have to pay your own tax and sort it out yourself.
Yeah. And the 10th point, and it's very much one just to again consider, is the types of children. I know that when you start the F1, the training, and go through the process, they always say, yes, let's assess you for 0 to 18. However, from my experience, I know that I found that working with a 7-year-old was a little bit too difficult for me. So moving forward, and also what allowed me to still continue working, this is just my personal experience, teenagers were better for me. So the types of children, there's so many. There's mothers and babies, there's asylum seekers, or they call them actually unaccompanied minors. Respite. So that's the short term. Emergency.
What else is there?
There's just loads, isn't there?
Long term.
Children with disabilities, short term, I think I mentioned just a second ago. There's so many different types. So the options are just unlimited in relation to the types of children you can get. So you do not need to be, thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I have to consider it right now. It may be something you have to make a work in progress. So you try a placement once it comes through and you've realized that's not for me. So then you may be able to try others. So yeah, it's just to have an open mind to the types of children. There's many.
Okay. The last point we wanted to make is to really think about the reasons why you want to go into fostering. It's really important to consider your reasons, because this will be one of the questions you will be addressed with in the F1. And it's probably one of the first questions that's asked at the training as well. Why do I want to go into fostering? So that's a point.
We just put we'd add on the end, isn't it? We just thought we'd add that one.
Yeah, we just add that one.
As a bonus.
And if so, it would be lovely if you can share, if you are going through an F1 at the moment, or you are thinking of fostering or considering going into it, or, it'd be lovely if you could just share your experience on our chat.
In the comments.
In the comments section, yeah. It'd be great to hear from you. Any carers that have been through it, and they can tell us whether their experience was good or whether it was a bit scary. Let us know. Let's share it with each other. Share our thoughts and ideas.
We'll probably be back next week to come with some other discussions. But if you do think of any that you would like us to consider or discuss, or even have in the future, please do note it in the comments as well. Have a wonderful day and thank you.
Thank you.